Introduction into an ancient nightmare. In the nameless nightmares that haunt humanity, there are moments when our souls drift into a realm of chaos, a place where man is no longer the apex of existence, but the prey of forgotten beasts. And in the blood-soaked lands of Greek mythology, where gods, titans, and monsters not only lived but ruled the minds of mortals, there exists a creature believed to be the embodiment of pure chaos. The hybrid from hell, the origins of Chimera. Unlike many monsters in Greek mythology, which possess clear forms and defined purposes, the Chimera is a being wrong from the very start. It is not a creature of nature, but a blasphemy of creation. A cursed offspring of a doomed union between two of the most terrifying entities to survive the Titanomachy, Typhon and Echidna. Typhon, the 100-headed serpent beast who once made Zeus tremble. Echidna, the half-woman, half-serpent mother of all horrors in mythology. When such forces combine, the Greeks believed the consequences were never simple. The Chimera was not born with a cry. There was no welcome into the world. It never needed to learn how to walk, to breathe, or to hunt. From the very first moment it emerged from the volcanic ravines of LYCIA, it was a killer. Its lion head was forever hungry. Its goat-like torso moaned with bloodlust, and its serpent tail slithered like a living curse, ready to strike down any fool who came too close. Worse still, Chimera could breathe fire. No one knew why. No one knew how. But this was no earthly flame. It was fire born of destruction, of punishment, of despair. It had no purpose, no instinct to protect, nothing to lose. It roamed the villages of LYCIA, burning homes to the ground, incinerating herds of livestock, and leaving behind not just ash, but fear in physical form. The massacres of Chimera and the nightmare in LYCIA. No one truly knows where Chimera first emerged from the shadows, but its bloody footprints stained every inch of LYCIA, a once peaceful land of green pastures and milk-scented sheep. Every village it passed through was reduced to smoldering ash. They say a group of merchants once wandered through the night and saw flickering flames in the distance, thinking it was the warm light of a village. But when they approached, all they found were burning columns of smoke and charred human bones scattered under the cold moonlight. The people of LYCIA lived in a waking nightmare. Even the bravest soldiers dared not leave the city walls after dusk. Mothers no longer lulled their children to sleep with sweet lullabies, but with trembling whispers. If you don't sleep, Chimera will come. Temples burned. Apollo gave no answer to their prayers. Athena turned away. For Chimera, as many legends claim, was no ordinary monster. It was the wrath of the old titans, the crack left unhealed after the Titanomachy, a tolling bell warning the world that peace was always an illusion. Oracles, prophets, and poets who passed through LYCIA left behind only one chilling prophecy. Only the one who rides the winged horse may pierce the burning heart of the beast. That prophecy reached the ears of King Iobates, ruler of LYCIA, and from there, a hero emerged. Not by choice, but by exile. His name was Bellerophon, a young man cast out for murder, but carrying within him a destiny no one could foresee. Iobates, thinking he could dispose of the exile by sending him to slay the Chimera, unwittingly set the stage for an epic clash between man and monster, between reason and chaos. Bellerophon and the hunt for Chimera, when courage defies fate. Bellerophon, a young man from Corinth, was no ordinary mortal. He carried in his veins the divine blood of Poseidon, god of the sea. Yet fate, cruel and twisted, cast him into exile after a murder shrouded in mystery. Wandering across lands, he found refuge in the court of King Iobates of LYCIA. But peace was not to last. Pressured by King Pretus of Tiryns, his cunning relative, Iobates devised a deadly scheme to rid himself of the young stranger. He gave Bellerophon a task no one had ever returned from: slay the Chimera. At the mention of the beast, silence fell like a heavy curtain. No warrior had ever faced Chimera and lived. Yet instead of fleeing, Bellerophon asked for one night to reflect and offered prayer at the temple of Athena. That night, perhaps for once, the gods listened. In his dreams, Athena appeared, bestowing upon him a sacred gift, a golden bridle, capable of taming the untamable. Pegasus, the winged horse born from Medusa's blood when she was slain by Perseus. Pegasus, wild, proud, and free, had never known a master. At dawn, Bellerophon climbed to the mountaintop where Pegasus often came to drink. Stepping quietly, he raised the golden bridle, and the miracle happened. Pegasus stood still. As if bound by an ancient pact, the mighty steed accepted only Bellerophon as its rider. And so, mounted on wings of legend, Bellerophon soared through the skies, following trails of scorched earth left by the monster. Deep within a burning canyon, he found it, sleeping. The lion's head growled in its dreams, the goat's head shrieked, and the serpent tail hissed and coiled like a living nightmare. Bellerophon didn't charge in blindly. He circled from above, dodging bursts of fire hurled from the lion's maw. Sunlight shimmered off Chimera's dark bronze scales, forged like armor from the pits of Hades. Arrow after arrow bounced off its hide, invincible. Then, in a flash of brilliance, a plan struck like lightning. He fastened a block of lead to his spear and waited. When Chimera reared back to breathe fire, Bellerophon hurled the spear into its gaping throat. The inferno within melted the lead, sending molten metal cascading down its insides like a river of lava. The beast howled in agony, thrashing wildly. Its tail lashed, claws tore at the earth, but it was too late. Born of hatred and chaos, Chimera was slain by its own flame. That evening, the skies over LYCIA blazed, not with destruction, but with the golden glow of sunset. And soaring through it was Pegasus, his white wings catching the light, carrying a hero who had done the impossible. The tragedy of a hero, when mortals forget their limits. After the glorious triumph over the Chimera, Bellerophon's name echoed across the lands. King Iobates not only forgave him, but offered half his kingdom and his daughter's hand in marriage. From a disgraced exile, Bellerophon rose to become a celebrated hero, beloved by the people, admired by kings. And soon, whispers began to stir. Perhaps he is more worthy than the gods themselves. And as always, when mortals fly too close to the sun, he started to believe it. Convinced he was no longer a man of flesh and bone, Bellerophon, in a moment of pride, conceived a mad dream: to ride Pegasus straight to the peak of Olympus, to stand among the immortal gods. To him, it was a just reward for unmatched bravery. But to Olympus, to Zeus, it was defiance, arrogance, and a mortal overstepping his bounds. Pegasus, ever loyal and radiant, soared skyward like a silver streak. The skies darkened, clouds swirled, and thunder rumbled as Bellerophon reached out, his fingers inches from the golden gates of heaven. Then Zeus struck, not with a bolt of lightning, but with a tiny, divine fly. Small, almost invisible, yet carrying the full weight of divine wrath. It stung Pegasus. The winged horse bucked in pain, and Bellerophon fell. He fell endlessly, through clouds, through light, through shattered ambition. He crashed to the earth, broken and twisted, not dead, but crippled, cursed to wander as a hollow shell. No longer a hero, no longer sung by poets. Only a shadow, crawling across the fields in silence. No one sang of his glory anymore. No one called him divine. Only myth remained, and the eternal warning it carried. Mortals may touch greatness, but if they overreach, that very greatness will destroy them. And Pegasus? Though wounded, he kept flying. He escaped the weight of the mortal world. Zeus, moved by the steed's purity and loyalty, did not punish him. Instead, he lifted Pegasus to the stars, making him a constellation, forever shining in the night sky. A symbol of freedom, of dreams, and the price one pays for chasing what was never meant to be theirs. Epilogue: Chimera, a monster and a philosophy. The Chimera was more than just a beast with 3 heads. It was the embodiment of chaos, of primal instinct untamed. And Bellerophon, more than a hero, was living proof that bravery and hubris are divided by the thinnest of lines. Greek mythology doesn't just aim to frighten or amaze us with strange creatures. It reminds us, even if you ride Pegasus, never forget that you are still human.